in the country, because it cuts across about half of the goals of the SDGs. And you say that water, sanitation, and hygiene brings about ill health or poor health condition. It affects education, it affects women, it affects labor, it affects commerce or productivity. It affects a whole lot of things. It affects women equality. Because so with this, we can't turn a blind eye to the importance of water, sanitation, and hygiene in the country. And it is very important that we are bringing it up at this time, at the peak of the election, so that as people go to the polls, they will remember that they have to look for candidates who will support the water and sanitation hygiene, who will support the implementation and development of water and sanitation hygiene in the across in their various locations, because water and sanitation and hygiene has become human right. In 2010, the United Nations General Assembly declared water and sanitation as human right. So anybody going to any place or any community saying they are providing water, they're not doing them in favor. It is the right of the citizens to ensure that they provide them the water. And also anybody coming to office should ensure that the budgetary provision are provided for the implementation of water, sanitation, and hygiene across board, particularly at the state level, because that is where most of the citizens reside, and that is what concerns the citizen, because this goes down to the local government level to ensure that not just providing the budgetary allocation, but releasing it is also very important. And when you release it, monitor the implementation to ensure that there is value for money and it is properly implemented, and also ensuring that nobody is left behind, that no marginalized group, the men, women, children, youth, people with disability are not left out. Ensure that they are included and provided for in the implementation of water, sanitation, and hygiene. And particularly ensure that public facilities, public institutions like education, that is schools, health facilities, have toilet facilities for the patients that are being treated, as well as the caregivers, because you go to most of our hospitals today, most hospitals don't have toilet facilities. You go to schools today, most schools don't have toilet facilities. And the worst part of it is when in the schools we have girls, particularly when they are in their menstrual period, they don't have decent places to either change or wash up or clean up. And you see schools are built without sanitation facilities. So that is why this campaign is very key at this particular time, and also so that our citizens and the aspirant will have it at the back of their mind. Because if we had it earlier than this, they will have said they've forgotten or it skipped their mind. But this is now at the front burner, and we should have it at the back of your mind and run with it.
Isn't it heartbreaking that several years after independence, several years of let's say 23 years after the return to democracy, we still have politicians who campaign and say, I'll give you water. Isn't it, like you mentioned, water is a human right? At this point in our national life, should we still be talking about communities, even in the FCT, that don't have access to potable water? Isn't it something that Nigerians should take seriously and demand for? Because you hear people say, oh, build roads for us. Those communities that are saying build roads for us don't have water. And then you have a situation where a politician goes and, provides a, what do you call it now, this borehole, and they feel like they've done so much for the community. The water that they themselves cannot even drink, when they go to commission these boreholes. So at this point, what do Nigerians need to know about? It's not enough to just say water is your right. How can Nigerians begin to hold their leaders to account in the area of provision of water, sanitation, and hygiene?
That is why we are having the program we're having for the civil society, which is Vote for Wash. That is, you look for the leaders that will ensure the implementation of water, sanitation, and hygiene in your environment, in your constituency, in your territorial zone, wherever you are. Elect people, look at their track record, what they've done in the past and what they are likely to do in future, how they are going to protect your interests coming back. And the worst part of it, currently, if you go to most local governments are shut down, are under lock and key, because most governors don't allow the the local government to function. The resources that are supposed to go to the local government are hijacked by the governors. So with this, we are calling on the citizens to elect leaders that will allow these facilities to function, these services to function, because it contributes to their well-being, it contributes to their right. Because if you are sick, you can't go for business. If you are sick, you can't go to school. If you are sick, you can't even go to the office. So that is where water sanitation and hygiene is very important. And sometimes the politicians think they are doing the citizens right, because they are not doing them any right, because they are not giving these services from providing these facilities from their pockets. These are resources meant and from the citizens, we should go to the citizens. So they are not doing the citizens any favor. So if they think they are doing the citizens a favor, then let them stay away from the seeking for the position. Let other people who are willing and ready to provide the services take over those positions. So they must ensure that they do it, and the citizens from now on must ask for their right, and also let them know that they are not doing them favor, that it is their constitutional right to ask for, to ensure that they have safe water, sanitation and hygiene for them, for their children, both in the school and even on the road. There should be provide facilities. If you travel from one point to the next, you will not see sanitary facilities where you can stop, or a service station where you can stop and ease yourself. That's why people tend to go to the bush or look for other sharp places to ease themselves or take care of themselves. So all these things, they should redraw the map and ensure that these facilities are properly taken care of in the country and in their various domains, particularly at the state level. So the state citizens at the state level and their local government level should hold their politicians and the aspirant accountable when they come to the office.
Well, there you have it. Again, you know it, that it's your right. They're not doing you a favor when National Assembly members or your governors or even the president tells you that they're going to supply water, and those things they're not things that they do for you. They're your fundamental right. You have a right to have these things. But then let's look at the fact that some people do not even take their hygiene seriously. I mean, so to the ordinary Nigerian, you still hear people say, "Oh, this is not a Kill African man," and so they don't even care to wash their hands. They don't even care to do some of these hygiene practices. At this point in our national life, where like you mentioned, people can fall sick, and that would take out from labor and employability. If people do not take their health and their hygiene seriously, what are some of the likely losses that we can experience as a nation, taken away from the economy, juxtaposing that, or rather with the economy at this critical time? Would Nigerians go to vote? Because I've been talking about this in the last 2 weeks. I've been saying, Nigerians, don't fall sick, do what you can to stay healthy, so that at least on Saturday there won't be an excuse. You go out and vote. With all of that in mind, would we say that we've been able to drive the goals, the SDGs? The deadline is 2030. It's just 7 years away. Would we be able to achieve the goal around water, sanitation and hygiene?
If all the players do what is expected of them, starting from the president that is coming in, the governors of the different states, the House of Assembly members, the senators, everybody playing their roles, the local government officials, ensuring that they provide the facilities. Not only that, provide for those that are working in the different sectors, particularly Ministry of Water Resources at both federal and state level, Ministry of Health and Ministry of Education, so that there are people who are trained, who have the responsibility to continuously remind the citizens of the need to wash their hands, remind the citizens of the need not to defecate outside, remind the citizens of the need to ensure that they drink safe water. So if all these resources are provided, the citizens will be healthy, and they'll be strong, and they will not skip their education, they will not skip their work, they will not skip their businesses. So it is important that the policy makers and those coming in into offices take pay attention to this and commit themselves. They must commit themselves to prioritizing water, sanitation, and hygiene. It's not negotiable. It's not negotiable. And in addition to this, when they come into office, before they have when they be having their orientation, we'll be engaging with the stakeholders that organize, those who organize this orientation, to enable them go back to the constitution and see that these political office holders have duties to the citizens. They are not doing them any favor. So they should see what constitutional duties they have to the citizens, so that they will match this constitutional commitment to whatever duty they are going to provide to the citizens when they come to office, so that they see that this is something they have to do. It's either they are ready to do it and committed to it, or they leave it, because poor sanitation and hygiene makes Nigeria lose about 455 billion annually. Poor sanitation, because by the time you don't go to work, by the time you lose business, by the time you fall sick, by the time the girls cannot go to school because due to their menstrual period and they don't have toilet facilities in their school, all this put together gives you about 455 billion annually, which the GDP, which the country loses annually. So with this, the country must wake up, and the citizens themselves must wake up and ask for their right. And also, politicians must make up their mind now and commit and be ready to say whether they are ready to do all this or not. If they are not ready, then let them back off and let those that are ready come in and provide the services that the citizens require.
You mentioned the role of CSOs and what CSOs are doing to ensure that Nigeria gets on to achieve these goals. How's your engagement? How's the engagement of civil society with government when it comes to WASH? Because I know that the organized private sector is doing a lot. What is the part of government, and how is government, how well is government doing or playing its role towards achieving that, this goal?
Okay, I must say in the last 7 or 8 years, between 2015 and now, the current administration, which we have, has done so much, has done a lot, and supporting WASH at both states and federal level, and even going down to local government. But the missing link here, the gap we have in the implementation, is getting the state governors to respond. The state governors are not responding, and unfortunately the state governors travel to other countries. They see all these facilities, they make benefit from them, they use these facilities, they enjoy it, and even in their homes they have good facilities. But here they are not supporting it. We are not asking the state governors to build toilet for the citizens. No, we know toilet is a private thing for the citizen, but provide the enabling environment for those who are supposed to monitor and ensure that these services are carried out, carry out their duties as expected, monitor the implementation, do follow up, go to all the places and see what services are needed, and engage with the appropriate sector that will provide these services. That is what we are asking for. We are not asking the governors to provide money or resources for toilet to be provided for the citizens. No, provide the means of implementing or delivering this service. That is just what we are asking for.
Now, how do we deliver this if the government does not provide the money, especially state governors providing the funds to deliver some of these facilities, especially toilets and the likes? I know that in the FCT there were provisions for mobile toilets and all to ensure that people take their hygiene seriously. At those state levels, how do we intend to achieve this?
State governments are supposed to ensure that they have toilet facilities in public places, that is motor parks, markets, malls, and even stadium, and sufficient toilet, not just providing toilet for 1 or 2 compartments, sufficient toilet, so that the number of people wanting to take care of themselves, ease themselves at a particular time, have access to these facilities whenever they need them. Those are the areas that concern both the state and local government. And since the local government sector have been paralyzed by the state government, so some of the services supposed to have been carried out by the local government, but the resources that are supposed to go to the local government have been hijacked by the state governors. So if you go to some local government now, these local governments are shut down, lock and key. There was a time I said the local government to work and to do some work, and we needed to hold a meeting inside the local government. We could not gain access. They had to take a bike to go and bring the gate man, the security of the local government before he could open the place. So when I asked, why people not working? They said there's no money. I said, is this money for salary or money for work? They said no, that they are paid salary, but there's no money for work. So people are just paid salary for doing nothing. So this is where the governors come in. This is where the policymakers come in. Provide resources for things to function in the country. Provide resources for facilities to be provided, both in public places, in markets, in motor parks. Along the road, there should be conveniences along the road, like what we see the federal government, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources do now, providing public toilet in this designated location. These are issues which should have come from either the FCT administration or state government, if it were to be in a state. So not for the federal government to come all the way from the federal, leaving other things it should be doing to start implementing. The federal government can only give support to the state or local government, but not to take up the responsibility of a state and implement. This federal government is
it's so sad, because even when these toilets are provided in these public places, they're not maintained. You go in there and you can't even ease yourself there. That's how bad it is. One time I walked into a market toilet and I had to just exit the place the way that I came in, because I couldn't imagine myself, easing myself there. So these are things that needs to be taken into cognizance. Those who are left with the responsibility to manage these public facilities that are provided, what are we doing as well to ensure, like you mentioned earlier, monitoring, to ensure that they do their jobs? Because it's not enough to provide the facility, also ensuring that it's accessible and usable is another thing. Like that experience that I had I would never think of using any of those public toilets or any of those public facilities.
I think that attitude is changing now, because people are beginning to realize. That's why we are also carrying out enlightenment, that is shit business is good business. There's a lot of money. People can make a lot of money from toilet services, because the important thing is when you provide these facilities for the citizen or for the public, put in place those who maintain it and what facilities they will need: soap, tissue paper, and other toiletries that are required now. Because the narrative is changing. If you go to most of these public toilet now, particularly the ones that are being constructed either by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources or the ones we have in market currently, the market authorities now have people that maintain them. Even there are some toilets you visit, they will not even allow you to go in with your shoes. They will have to provide you with their own slippers so that you don't dirty the floor or contaminate them. They bring in contaminant from outside, so you change your shoes and use their own slippers and finish and return and pay them. So, and like the ones we have in market, thousands of people use this market every day, and each moment or each minute, everybody, one person or the other, will have the need to use the facility. So they're making a lot of money, and this is where both state government and local government should go into partnership with private sector or the market authority and build these facilities, and then they'll get back their money, because by doing this they're also providing jobs for the citizens, providing jobs for youth. So as people are they taking care of it, ensuring that they are properly maintained, they are properly taken care of, nobody will just come and mess the place up or use it and abandon it and make it unfriendly, make it unfriendly or inaccessible. So with this, people should come together and support the need for improved water, sanitation and hygiene across the country in every territory.
Well, you heard it. Toilet business is good business. You may want to invest in it and ensure that Nigerians have a very if you travel, you go to public facilities like that, public toilets and all, you won't even notice it's public. You may not even know it's public facility because it's clean. We need to do more. If you have money to invest in toilet business. Who knows? You just might be making more money than you would ever think of. Keep it here. The conversation continues. We'll be talking more with Mr. Atta Benson, National Coordinator, Society for Water and Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, NewSan. He's joining us in this conversation this morning. We're making demands and ensuring what they're doing is demanding that those who are coming into office understand that these are rights. These are human rights. Nigerians have a right to water, sanitation and hygiene, and so they must provide this thing. So bear that in mind as you go to vote on Saturday. You need to be able to vote someone who is going to be able to provide these things for you. Keep it here. The conversation continues.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
2.3 FM Secondary School Quiz Show and be the academic champions. Enroll your school with 2 students participating in mathematics, English and general knowledge. Registration is 20,000 naira only. And what's more, your school gets massive promotion as long as they remain in the competition. Entry closes on the 18th of March 2023. For payment details and inquiries, please call 090-9719-8377. Eagles 102.3 FM Squeezed Show, building future champions today.
If you wait till you want buy but you don't get money, microwave, TV, I mean you want pay never bill. Download Yankavi from any online store. With 100 naira, fund your wallet. Choose a plan for your Gate Pass. Start spinning and winning. The player with the highest number wins the bid. Anything when you want buy, you can bid it and win it. Yankavi, Nigeria's online marketplace.
You can call us on 091 3000 2014 091 3000 2014.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Alright, the conversation continues. It's Eagles Outlook on your radio experience. You can count on Eagles 102.3. And this morning we're talking the water, sanitation and hygiene demand, and we have been talking with Mr. Atta Benson, National Coordinator, Society for Water, Sanitation, Water and Hygiene, and he's been talking with us, trying to understand why you need to place a demand on those who lead you as a people to provide these things. They are your rights. They are your rights. When they come to you to say, I will provide you water, it's not a favor they're doing you, it's your rights. You have to demand from your local government up to the federal level. You have to demand it. It's your right. Now, Mr. Atta, let's talk about, and by the way, you can join the conversation. I missed that. You can join the conversation. Call 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. As you go to vote on Saturday, do not forget you need to vote someone who would be interested in ensuring that these things are provided. Mr. Atta, love us to touch on the charter of demand. Before that, let's bring in this caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Saturday Prince.
I'm
glad you're here.
Due to my joy, the Nigerian has really woken up. They have become interested in the happening of things in the country. That alone lies in my heart. Because before now, when we were talking further in 2015, they saw us as everyone that are lamenting. But as time goes on, many of them came to their senses that what we are agitating for are good government. We are not against any leader. We are not against anybody. What we are agitating is somebody that will understand what it takes to lead his people. Because the job of a president or a governor, you choose to do. And the people should hold you accountable if you fail to do what you needed to do. I remember when I was growing up as a little child, back then in primary schools, we go to toilet at this public this pool that you once you drop in the flies everywhere and stuff like that. You know, I was asking myself, when will we grow to use other system and stuff like that? So, but as days is going by, so many things are changing. When PWB took over as the governor, he realized all the schools, put perimeter fencing in almost all the schools within all the local governments, including my own village, and build a water system toilet in all the schools. And you go, you on the tap, you fresh water, you need some of them, because you know, children, once the water system is put in its toilet on the children, you definitely get to spoil it. But there's over 10 tanks in all the schools. So when I came back, I saw that who brought this good initiative. I said it's the government. Wow, we need to applaud it, because these are the things we have been clamoring for. How can children be going to toilet at this opening day toilet? That one that you be seeing the mother and the rest of that. So I will really applauded him, and we urged him to do more. And when he realized that there's no water in my village, he came and opened up a borehole and stuff like that, and also brought a transformer and make sure that the high tension was fixed.
Okay.
And these are the things we want. People that will really listen to the union of the people, who will really come down to the dance training, who will know what the people want and do it. And try to do it. We held you responsible.
All right.
You understand? And I believe Nigeria should vote wisely come 4 days to go, 4 days in power.
Okay.
So that we'll get it right.
All right.
You understand? So I agree to once again.
Thank you again, Senator Prince. Appreciate you. Don't forget, these are your rights. You have to demand from your leaders that these things are provided for you. Water is a basic necessity of life, and you must get it. It's not something that you beg for. You must demand your leaders to provide these things. Mr. Atta, Benson, let's talk about the demand. What are these demands that Nissan has, and where do we have a charter of demand in the first place?
So going by the poor services and inaccessibility of improved wash facilities across the country, we saw the need to bring stakeholders together to identify issues with which we can engage the politicians or political parties as well as the aspirants on, so that we came up with this wash charter of demand. And currently members across the country at different states are engaging different political office politicians seeking office to sign to this wash charter of demand, so that after the election we give them time and we use the wash charter of demand and remind the various office holders that you signed up to this, and have you started or thinking about this, or are you doing something towards the realization of what you committed yourself to. So the wash charter of demand is to remind the politicians of their commitment to the citizens, as well as remind them of what they've signed to, so that it will not be like what we used to see, that politicians will make promises to the citizens, and after they get into office they say no, we didn't mean it, or we forgot. No, that's why the evidence is there that this is what you signed to. So ensure that is achievable, or you make it realistic.
But so far, how many candidates have been able to sign up on this or sign this charter?
The exercise is ongoing. We'll know by the end of the election, because from the federal election up to the state elections, the engagement will continue. It is after the election that we'll be able to come together to see which how many people signed for which categories, and for which parties, or how many parties signed up to this.
Okay, so what are these demands that they were making of our political leaders?
First is that they should prioritize water and sanitation in their development program. If it's either is only the only priority program, or it should be among the sets. If they have 5 programs, they prioritize water, sanitation, and hygiene should be one. If it should be also part of their political agenda, there should be political will, should be supported wholeheartedly with both body and soul to it, and they should commit to providing budgetary allocation and releasing the budget for implementation to it. And they should also ensure that basic essential institutions like education, health facilities, and women organization are provided with appropriate facilities, water, toilet, water and toilet and hygiene facilities to ensure that the users, the environment is user friendly and the facilities are there, are readily available for the citizens to use these places. Particularly in schools, we want to ensure that, see that whoever is providing toilet, not just providing toilet, but you should also, the toilet should be menstrual hygiene friendly, so that girls can go in, clean up themselves, change, and go back to classes. Not to a situation where because a girl is menstruating, she has to stay back home for 5 to 7 days or 3 days because of her menstrual condition. So we want a situation whereby a child will feel comfortable sitting in the class and learning and not missing classes. In addition to that, we also want to a situation whereby at both federal and state level, the appropriate laws are there, the appropriate legal framework are there, the appropriate policies are there and are implementable and are monitored across board. In addition to this, to also ensure that different partners that are supposed to be involved in the implementation are mobilized and engaged with other private sector, government, civil society, or development partners, and also properly coordinated. And the government should take the lead in the implementation, not to leave her responsibility to development partners to come and control. That is why one thing I'm happy with this current situation we have with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. The Federal Ministry of Water Resources are taking ownership, leading other partners, not what we used to have in the past, where development partners will be dictating the pace for the ministry. So the government is now in the forefront. So these are things we want to see, and also to ensure that through this, they are provision for private sectors to come in and provide them jobs, because a lot of jobs can be created in the water sanitation and hygiene sector, because all this human waste, a lot of things can be gotten out of it. You can get compost out of it. You can use it for agriculture. You can even make briquette out of it. And instead of cutting wood to make fire, you make briquette out of this and make fire with it. So there are a whole lot of things which can be gotten from the wash sector. So the politicians and all office seekers should prepare themselves and ensure that they prioritize this wash, and that's why we have this wash charter of demand, so that with this wash charter of demand we use it to engage the office holders when they get into power.
Very well. If you're one of those who has politicians as your friends, you have them as colleagues, as you have them as maybe even family, you may want to push this across. Let them know water, sanitation, hygiene, wash should be a priority. It should be should be adopted into whatever plans that they have and made a priority to ensure that Nigeria. So it pains me, it hurts me to see that Nigeria, after 67 something years, or 63 or 64 years, still goes without water. It's so sad. We have communities that don't know what pipe-borne water is. Even those who have pipe-borne water, some of them don't see water in years. Even in the FCT, there are people who they've resorted to, let's provide water for ourselves. All right, and that's for those who can afford it. For those who cannot afford it, in the rural communities, in the hinterlands, water is still a problem in this country. We're not even talking about clean water now. We're even talking about at least access to potable water, like water that's coming from the tap. All right, so we need to ensure that we have clean water. Most of the diseases we're battling with, every time you hear of cholera outbreak, you hear of this one outbreak, you hear of that one outbreak, it's because there's no clean water for people to drink. And people can't even afford to drink water. Is it now to wash their hands that they will do with clean water? We need to get to that point where hygiene is a regular thing. It's a normal thing. It becomes a norm where people can drink water, safe water, and also wash their hands and practice safe hygiene. Please be a part of this. Take this and run with it, okay? if you have those, again, if you have friends and colleagues or family who are politicians, let them know that this is not something that they would use to do politics. They have to provide these basic rights for Nigerians. I bring in more callers. 09073530044 and 09087668888. That is 09073530044 and 09087668888. Sunday the Prince told us how he had wondered what day it would be that they would use, good toilets in the schools in his community growing up, only for one governor to come in and make that dream a reality. Today, I'm sure the kids in those schools would not be thinking what day it would be that they will use water closets. That's what development is, and we hope that it's sustained over time, so other governors can come in and do the same in communities where the other governor was not able to get to. This new guy gets there and gets this thing done, so that Nigerians can have a safe place to ease themselves. Okay, that can be the story of your community if you hold your leaders accountable. When they come to you to canvass votes, tell them that this is what you want. Let them fix this. Let them provide you water. And when they get into office, continue to hold them to account. That said, what are the mechanisms set, Mr. Benson, for getting Nigerians to buy into this? It's not just civil society now. Nigerians buying into this and holding their leaders accountable towards the provision of wash facilities.
We carry out sensitization. We have always continuous engagement and sensitization of the citizens at all levels to ensure that, apart from them holding those in authorities accountable, they too also ensure that they comply with the various behavioral change practices which they have to comply with, like washing hands before eating, after you use the toilet, and before you engage with after you engage with any dirty practice, you wash your hands. In addition to that, you ensure that if you are using pit toilet, the pit toilet are always close after use, and or if you are using if you have other types of toilet, you ensure that they are properly cleaned and maintained, as well as ensuring that the environment is kept clean. While we do this, we also engage and monitor the implementation of all these services with either the state authority or with the local government authority. That is where they are functional, where they are allowed to work, and also carry out this sensitization so that there will be prevention of waterborne diseases such as diarrhea or cholera and what other related diseases, and letting the people on the need to treat their water, because there are communities you go to, they will tell you they pee blood, they can't see because of the water they've been drinking. The different waterborne diseases or infections are affecting them. So you now treat them, educate them on how to treat their water or take care of their water, so that to reduce the intake of these organisms that are causing these diseases in the citizens.
Very well. Let's wrap it up now. What would be your final thoughts to Nigerians as they go to the polls on Saturday?
Yes, we tell Nigerians, as the saying goes, shine your eye. Look for candidates that you feel will meet your requirements, will meet your needs, will protect your own interests, and will protect your rights as you are going out to vote. And also, we call on all the candidates as they are going out to vote. We wish all of them luck, but as they are doing that, they should also have it at the back of their mind that whoever wins should ensure that they uphold water, sanitation and hygiene as a priority development project, because this cost affects all other development entire sector in the country, and also ensure that the country and the citizens are are healthy, strong, and comfortable.
All right, and this is where we close it. I'd like to say thank you very much, Mr. Atta Benson, National Coordinator, Society for Water and Sanitation Hygiene. Thank you so much for being a part of the conversation this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. And well, we'll drop the anchors now. Again, Nigerians, I'd love to say to you, do not be intimidated. Do not allow anyone lie to you or deceive you. Your votes will count. Go out, participate in the process towards electing credible leaders in our country. It's your responsibility. It is mine to ensure that we have better leaders in this country, leaders that would lead this country to a good place, not a place where Nigerians will be begging for water. No, we need to get in leaders who would provide basic amenities, basic needs of the human beings. What you need, basic things: water, electricity, roads. These are not things that we should be begging for 60 years or after democracy or independence, or 23 years after return to democracy in the Fourth Republic. We need to get to that point where all of these things would not be things that we should be worried about. Good governance would make you stop praying about basic things. Good governance would make you stop praying about security and stop praying about electricity and stop praying about how to get food. Go out, participate in the process, vote the right candidates into office. Thank you very much. My name is Ihia Cho Prince. Keep it with us. Business news is up next, and then right after that we'll bring you the Midday Extra.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.